What's up, bro? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you? How are you?
How are you? I'm Awal. Me, I'm good. I'm bombarded somehow a lot recently with videos, short videos showing policing, uh, mainly around Europe, but I know it happened also in the States and definitely in California about protesters, usually left-winged protesters shouting against government, burning flags. Sometimes some of them are, of course, pro-Palestinians or just Islam, radical Islam, and they are also being, many of them are being supported by the local community. And this raised a few questions, or I know it's a big debate right now. And as you know me, I like to look at things from both sides, right? To understand that there's always two sides to the same story. And I have been, like, if we're talking about Germany and the pro-Palestinians demonstrations that are getting also violent. The thing is, I was working with those people when I was living in Germany. I supported the immigrants and the refugees that came from Syria, Azerbaijan, Iraq, so many of these Muslim lands. They came flooding Europe, and they were mostly pushed to the north to places like Germany that welcomed them. And my task was to help them integrate. Since I myself was an immigrant and having, that sort of type of mentality of Middle Eastern mentality, Mediterranean mentality, I was facilitating projects and other government help to help those people understand what it means to live in Germany, how the system works in Germany, the religion, the customs, and then also vice versa. I helped the locals understand those immigrants, right? Who are they? What are they going through? And now, fast forward, I don't know, 5, 8 years later. No, yeah, actually almost 10, or even more than 10. Some of these are protesting, are going out on the streets and are being violent and disrespectful. And this is what, caused me to think, wait a second, I know both sides of the story. And even though I'm Israeli, and I can understand the other side, but the thing is, you cannot shit where you eat. and and sorry for this, type of sorry for my French or for my German.
You're German, yeah, there you go. Pardon the German.
You really don't shit where you eat. You need to be respectful. So today I made a short video that started with, would you like to live or to welcome somebody in your house that doesn't respect you, that doesn't respect your rules, that doesn't respect the way that you do things? And I think this is the core issue here. It's I was always, or most of my life, I was on the other side of the fence. I was against control. I was against any type of force, and I was, about freedom, free speech, free mind, and I still am. But this should be always with respect and dignity. Otherwise, it cannot be heard. And I want to talk more about it, but first I want to hear about what have you been experiencing there in the United States?
Me personally, I haven't been experiencing any of it on a personal level, right? I would say that most people, at least here in Colorado, okay, Colorado is definitely leaning a little bit more towards the left and towards the being a humanitarian to whatever is trendy right now. Okay, and then that has not been the case over here. It's been taking place more in California, but I have been seeing the same videos that you are seeing, and a lot of it isn't like a lot of it is actually happening in Germany. Since
Yeah.
they have been, especially in in Hamburg, I have been watching a lot of videos, and they were basically showing snippets of the news from Hamburg, and things are completely out of control. This is where this is where I hate to be a broken record. I hate to be a repeating pattern of my parents and my grandparents and my aunts and all the elders of my family that have been saying this since the 70s. To all of these countries in Europe, it's coming. It's about to happen, and then it did happen. I'm not going to say that, oh, we were here to predict the future or anything like that, but this is the form of disrespect that these countries are getting. Supposedly, according to all of these demonstrators, these countries were showing solidarity with Israel, with our country, our beloved Israel. Okay? Now, whether or not, depending on what side of the fence you're at right now, whether you're pro-Palestine or pro-Israel, okay, or anti-Palestine, anti-Israel, it doesn't matter anymore. It does not matter. If you're welcomed into somebody's home, like you said, you do not disrespect your host, the people who have invited you in, especially if these people clothed you, sheltered you, fed you, and done everything for you, and made sure that you have a job, that your children have school and kindergarten, and you are basically they integrated you into this system in a country that is doing far better than where you came from. That is, like we say in Hebrew, spitting in your own plate, spitting where you eat. And yeah, I do truly find it disrespectful. But, I'm not one of those people who like to dwell on what's wrong.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what can we do to fix this? And
Exactly.
in a sense, like to carry one, out of control immigrant by the neck, with handcuffs is one thing, but that's not going to solve the issue because there's just too many of them to manage in order to bring peace. So you have to, I guess, do something that is going to create some kind of a peace and structure as a collective, so
Ah,
something that's gonna.
let's try to find some solutions and explanations to this, but let's allow
Yeah.
me to put things a bit in perspective. So those it's happening in Germany mainly because of two things. First, Germany received a lot of immigrants. Like from what I know, it was about 1.5 to 2 million people. This is a crazy number, right? And second, Germany, especially after the Second World War, is a country that is very moral, very patient, and very achtsam. So they put a lot of awareness about where they put how much force they use when it comes to religion and when it comes to political agendas, right? Because of the history and because of other things. It doesn't really matter right now, but this is just what the Germans are right now in this day and age. Now, add to that the fact that those immigrants that are now protesting, think about where they come from. They come from regimes that if they would have gone on the streets, they would immediately been shut down. Literally shut down,
Down.
right?
Yeah.
So
Huh?
suddenly they are in a much more open state where the laws are more flexible, where there's more tolerance.
A lot more.
So they allow themselves to do things they wouldn't be able to do back home.
They're
And
trying to
they-
express their freedom. They're trying to express their
yes,
freedom, but
exactly.
they're doing it in a very destructive way, a way that is not going to help anyone.
Right. I'm just putting things in perspective to
Oh,
help
yeah.
people understand the background of things, right? Now, you're right. They are not doing things respectfully. One of the things is their background did not allow them to develop skills, political skills, moral skills. They come from very uh, tight religion spaces.
Diplomatic skills, skills of getting things done through negotiation.
Exactly, through speech,
Yeah.
through conversation,
They say
through
words are
argument.
powerful. Let's use them.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
say,
So
yeah, words are powerful.
this needs to be taught, right? Now, of course, one of the thing is everything seems to be boiling up right now in our beautiful little blue planet. Everything seems to be on the edge. Everything seems to be really like on the rooftops. So this is also something to add to the understanding of why things are happening as they are. With that said, and with that understanding, still the bottom line needs to be we are not able to tolerate anymore disrespect to the core basic of human rights. And that goes to both sides, right? I cannot just go out on the streets and burn flags and destroy window sills or whatever it is on the shops that they're doing, or throw things, or just disturb the natural proceeding of things. If what I want is respect from the government, is to that I'm being acknowledged, this needs to be done in different ways, in ways that are more respectful to everybody around, and especially to their own people, right? We are talking about humanity here.
Taking to the streets is not going to help anyone. It's just gonna make you're trying to convey a certain message. You don't take it onto the streets. You don't take it on regular people and everyday folk. You don't destroy someone's property, someone who has nothing to do with whatever it is that you are protesting against. You want to protest? You don't like what your country is doing. You don't like what the leadership is doing. You take it to their house. Do it. Do it. Take it straight to them. But don't fucking ruin everything that people have been working on all their lives. The beautiful aesthetic of our accomplishments as human beings, as modern human beings, is that we are creating a society for ourselves that is going to be acceptable for us when we open our eyes. These are beautiful, beautiful streets with light posts and shops and all festival decorations and stuff like that. And it's like what are you doing? When you walk through these streets and you torch everything and you destroy everything, you're not making a good impression. You're not conveying your message as a message that somebody would ever want to support. So, yeah, it has been getting on my nerves a lot. And, and these are conversations that I have regularly with people also here. And it's like I keep telling everyone, it's like, oh, yeah, you're seeing what's going on right now in Europe, especially in Germany and this and that. They're like, yeah, man, this is absolutely insane. It's like, what do you do? It's like, except for kick everybody out. I'm like, yeah, good luck with that. There's millions of people that you cannot just kick everybody out. Something has to be done. I told them, honestly, I'm at a point to where just introduce them with a new trend and they will forget about it. Because apparently, people have a very short historical memory, because it's amazing that after October 7th, how quickly everyone forgotten about the Holocaust, how quickly everyone forgot that Israel has a history that is thousands of years old. So if people are having a hard time remembering stuff like that, I'm sure they'll have a hard time remembering what's trendy and what to hate. And instead, you just show them something new to get their mind off of things. I mean, that's you'd have to excuse my lack of faith in the human race, but I am at a point to where I do believe that people have such a short memory span and such a short attention span that if you show them a puppy after showing them the end of the world, they'll say, "Oh, look, a puppy!" You know?
I hear you, brother. I hear you. And this is why these things are being now played on repeat again and again and again with very short intervals, because we cannot be ignorant anymore. We cannot fall back to sleep. We cannot have that puppy. It's not enough anymore. So I believe what we are facing here, what we are seeing here, is actually humanity on the verge of finally becoming exactly that, humanity, right? Because what is the definition of an Israeli anymore? What's the definition of an American? Even the definition of German, right? It's all been mixed thousand times fold. It's all integrated now into each other. It's all one big mess, one big balagan, a huge salad of
Cultures
people,
are mixed.
religions, customs, belief systems, you name it, colors, right? Everything is mixed already. So trying to separate that would be insane. Instead, what we need to understand is we have to move forward, and moving forward means becoming one global human race, right? Where we still probably for the next, 50 years, we will still have some definitions, but all in all, we need to understand, hey, I'm a person, you're a person. That's our common ground, right? That's the common derivative. And this is what we have to work on. We are sitting here on the same planet. Things have become, thanks to technology, much easier. Distances much shorter. I can know what's going on. Look, we're talking right now live, split seconds that go between the information, and you are 10,000 miles away.
7,000, but yes.
Sorry?
7,000.
7,000, so 10,000 kilometers.
Aha, there you go. But yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Is like technology and diplomacy. I mean, that's something. All of this, just culture, anything and everything that we've developed over time to basically become one, to have like a unified language, something that the entire world can communicate on a day-to-day basis without too much separation.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is that it's just the human race is so freaking destructive. I don't know. And the thing is that it's harder and harder and harder for me to understand why. It's harder and harder for me to understand why. Because I'm an artist. Do you know what my job is as an artist? On this planet with this one life that I was given. My job is to create.
Yeah, and as a creator, you don't aim your creation towards a certain group of people that follow a certain religion or a certain identification of a country.
I don't create to destroy. My job is to create as an artist, just to create art. Right. Something for you to listen and enjoy. And
whoever you are.
My purpose on this planet is to create something recreational for other people to enjoy. Exactly. That's it. That's the bottom line. And that's why I'm having a really hard time understanding anyone who wants to do the opposite. I mean, yeah, because people are going to say, well, not everybody is like you. Not everybody wants to create stuff. Some people want to destroy. That is not a compliment. I should not be taking that as a compliment, and I should not be personally accepting that. It's like, I don't know. Was I made any different? No. Were
No.
they made any different from me? No. Everyone for the most part is made the same exact way. I just think that some choices are more fucked up than others,
I think
and it's
we
sad.
I think we can agree that we are all made in the image of God, and the thing about God is that He's the creator and He's creating all the time, creating, or He created. So we are made in that image and likeness, which means we have that inherent not only ability but probably also inclination to create. And yes, part of the creation process is destroying or taking something. This is alchemy. Taking something, taking it apart, and making something new out of it. Right? So this is probably also what is happening right now. And then the bottom line of things, because I had the chance to work with what people would say my arch nemesis, right? With Palestinian people, with Syrian people, with Iranian people, like by definition, my arch nemesis. I
Hmm.
worked with those people. And you know what? They are the same people as you and me. It's just different expression. And the end of the day, they want to come back home, eat a good meal, and have some fun with their children. They want to, when they go to sleep and they wake up in the morning, they want to be reassured that their children will have a safe and good future. That's what they want. That's it. It's everybody wants the same thing in the end. It's just how we express it. So if we go back down to that
I would say that
basic
almost
things,
everyone wants the same thing. Almost everyone. And then there is the handful of people who would see this world burn. Or if not burn, like the people who want to see this world burn are basically people who are tired of everything, of everyone else around them, aka me.
but you
Okay,
don't
and
want
no,
the
I'm
world to
not gonna
be
say that I
destroyed.
want. I'm not gonna say that I want to see necessarily the world burn, but it is burning, and it is because of a select few people who have an idea in their head of what the world should be like. And these are the types of people who are responsible for creating protests, who are responsible for creating divisions, religions, and separating humanity because they act as a leadership. Now, if people were smart enough to see that kind of leadership that is very, very destructive, to see them for exactly what they are, that means that these are people that will no longer be confined to what these so-called leaders are trying to push and convey onto them. In other words, people will wake up and say, "You're not going to take leadership. You are crazy. Okay, and I'm going to live a nice, normal, healthy life, and I'm going to promote love instead of hate." But I personally don't think that as a human species, we are not quite there yet. There is still a major stage of human development for us to be able to say that we can actually, as a collective, think for ourselves and decide that A, B, and C is not good for us, and that we know what is actually best, and we're going to take control of our own lives as the people with wise, carefully thought of, actions that we're going to take.
Well, that's for every individual first to decide between his and her own self, right? Because the days where things are just being shoved to our throats they are not working anymore. People need to feel, deeply feel, resonate with the truth.
Yep.
And they need to feel this is really good for me. As you said, this is really healthy for me, right? They need to connect with it on a deeper level. And for that to happen, everybody needs to start, we call it turning the mirror, right? In the spiritual world, it's called turning the mirror back to me, back to myself. It doesn't make me an egoistic, selfish person, but it means, all right, I'm not going to look for answers outside anymore. I'm not going to let other people dictate to me what is true or false for me. And there's a limit to what I can understand about what's going in other people's life, because in the end, this is my life. And I am the only one that can truly know what's right and what's wrong for me. Correct?
Yep.
So I need, or we need to turn the mirror, starting looking at ourselves. Now, the funny thing is here, ask the common person to look in the mirror. They can maybe do it for 5 seconds stop. I challenge you to look in the mirror. Just look in the mirror, see how long you can take it. Most people cannot do it for different reasons, but the bottom line of it, it's hard for us to look at ourselves. It's hard for us to, because when we face ourselves, we have to judge ourselves, right? We see all the flaws, we see all the things we don't want to see. And this is exactly what is happening. All the shit comes outside, and it's easier to march on the street and say, this is shitty, he is shitty, she's shitty, rather than start pointing the fingers here, or rather, or better even not pointing fingers, just saying, okay, what about the shit that is going on with me? How am I handling it, instead of throwing it on somebody else, taking my shit and throwing it on somebody else and telling him, okay, you need to shove my shit away. No, no, no. Take responsibility. What's going on with me? And how do I clear it? Not ask somebody else to clear my shit, but how do I clear my own stuff away?
Yeah, I agree 100%. And yeah, it's self-reflection again. We're on the topic of self-reflection. Yeah, it's necessary, but it's also hard. And a lot of times, whatever is necessary is hard to do, hard to accomplish. Um, it's no easy task.
You're
And
right.
we're asking of a lot of people to be doing this. This is not like taking one person and asking them to do this. But the only people that should, I think personally, not the only people, but primarily the people that should be doing this are any kind of people in power who are about to make some kind of a decision that is going to affect countless lives. Those are the kinds of people that need self-reflection the most, to just look inside and ask themselves the same executive order that they're about to give out. They need to ask themselves multiple times, at least 5 times, for every second they're looking in the mirror. Okay, is this the right thing to do? Is this the right thing to do? And just continue asking them, how is this going to affect other people? Is it going to be a good thing for me to do this or not?
You're
Right?
right, you're right. But I want to take the dialogue away from it, and I tell you why. Because it's again putting my future, my stability, my health, my wealth in somebody else's hands. And we've been taught to believe that this is the case. We've been groomed and educated to believe that my health depends on a doctor, that my wealth depends on a job or on a boss, right? That my
Mm-hmm.
well-being depends on a government or some organization. That's not the case. I'm not saying that there are no influences. I'm saying this is what it means to awaken and to claim the power back. And this is why it's also difficult, challenging, and hard, because I'm not. We cannot be kids anymore, demanding mama and papa to take care of us. Oh, do this for me. Oh, do that for me. Oh, drive me here, drive me there. Cook this for me. Make me something to eat. No, it doesn't work like this anymore. I need to start doing it for myself. This is
Sure.
how I free myself from, powers above me, around me, that try to pull my strings. I have to understand, wait a second, I can take charge of my body, therefore of my health. I can take charge of my soul and how I experience things and how I see things. Therefore, I can minimize triggers. Yeah? I can minimize dependency, right? I can take charge of what I consume physically, mentally, and spiritually, and therefore affect this and bring more well-being. Because it's, in the end, it's what I consume and how I'm being triggered, how I'm reacting to things,
Right.
right? This is what the protesters are doing. They are causing a reaction. This is why they go on the streets. Now, put this aside for a second. Everybody needs to start claiming more authority and authenticity in our lives. And this is maybe, the challenging part, because we don't really know who we are. We've been taught and told who we are since early age, right?
That doesn't work anymore.
It doesn't work anymore. Exactly. All those stories are gone, baby, gone. So people are realizing, wait a second. This is why all these conspiracy theories are out there, to jam with all those stories I've been told about myself, about my people, about my, about God or gods, whatever it may be. This is all jamming my thought process and my belief systems. So I'll start asking the questions inwardly. What do I connect with? What resonates with me as a truth? How can I distinguish something like this? These are all major questions for each and every one of us, and there are methods to tackle that. All right.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. There was another subject that we wanted to talk about. I don't know how much time we have.
What, 5 minutes? Let's wrap it out with that then. What subject?
We have another 5 minutes, you said?
Yeah.
5 minutes? No, that's okay. We can talk about other stuff that's fun, because this subject is a little bit more complex. It requires more time. We can leave that for another time.
What subject was that?
The subject was ICE, which is basically... Yeah, which is okay. So United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Enforcement. I told you it's
I
enforcement.
love that word, enforcement. It's like, people look at it as such an acceptable word, enforcement.
So let's talk about it more next time. It definitely
We will.
it plays a role in shaping whatever we are moving into. And like anything else, it has its better side and its worse side. I like to move away from words like enforcement to words like empowerment, right?
Right.
Right.
It's never, just another means of control. We can talk about this more, probably in the next episode.
Let's do that.
Yes, absolutely. But in the meantime, remember to do self criticism, but in a positive way. Criticize yourself in a good way. Always self-reflect, look in the mirror, ask yourself what it is that you're doing right, as well as asking yourself what it is that you are doing wrong, and how can you take the power back, the power and the control over your life back to your hands. So I would like to thank all of our audiences and viewers and anyone who's been seeing our videos and sharing and liking and subscribing. Please continue doing so. Spread the word. We wanted to say that we love you all. Sagi, thank you very, very much. I love you, brother.
Love you too. Thank
And
you
we
for
shall
everything.
see you. Yep, we shall see you next week.
I shall see you later.